have a very special car, the new M5 Touring. Touring in BMW speak means wagon, and it's a real wagon. And amazingly enough, it actually has tons of cargo space, but that's not what the M5 buyers are interested in. They want to know what's under the hood. Under the hood of this thing is 717 horsepower. I was going to say it's the 717 horsepower V8, but it's not, because you have a V8 with twin turbos, but it's also hybrid. So part of that 717 number rating comes from the hybrid assist. And under the floor here, all across on the floor here is batteries. And this thing will go 25 miles on batteries alone. So it's a practical car. It's an economy car. You can drive it on electricity for 25 miles while going to Home Depot and filling it back with lumber. So you don't need a truck. Although it weighs as much as a truck, because this thing weighs 5,500 pounds. That's about the same as an F-150. So why do we need a 717 horsepower, 5,500 pound car? Because people like it. On paper, this should not work at all. A 5,500 pound car should drive terribly. This does not. This actually blows your mind away how amazing it accelerates, but okay, so you have tons of power, so acceleration is easy, but around corners, it's ridiculous how well it sticks. And braking, it stops on a dime. It kind of reminds me of when the X5M first came out. BMW had a special deal at Laguna Seca Raceway to introduce the car, and we were thinking, come on, why would you want to drive an SUV on the racetrack? That's stupid. But after driving it, it was amazing. The fact that you could drive an SUV like a race car was crazy, and couldn't believe how BMW did it. And it's the same thing with this. It's ridiculously fast. It accelerates, it stops. It does everything you want a sports sedan to do, or a sports car, yet it does it with a body like this, and it'll seat 5 people plus a ton of luggage with no problem. So, and these brakes are massive. You jump on the brakes and it'll haul this 5,500 big giant machine like that. 16.1 inch rotors in the front, 15.7 in the back, and carbon ceramic is optional. This thing will do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. It will do 190 mile an hour with the optional M driver's package, which this thing has. 190 mile an hour, and it costs $125,000. Most cars will cost more than that because BMW will charge you extras for everything, including the paint. This color is a $5,500 option. But other than the color, assuming you got this in white or black or silver or something normal, it blends in. And that's kind of what the lure of the whole M5 has always been. It's been a car that when you look at it, it looks like any other car. It doesn't really stand out that much. But under the hood is what's special. And if you want a sleeper, that's kind of what you always got. The E39 M5 had 400 horsepower, and it looked just like a 525. It didn't look that much different, other than a few subtle things. And that's kind of how this is. Other than the green paint, of course, when you look at it, and to somebody who doesn't know much about cars, this looks like any other BMW, and people go, oh, okay, it's a regular car. But the fact that it's a car that does 3.5 seconds 0 to 60 and can hit 190 mile an hour, that's what the M5 is about. Okay, here we are behind the wheel of the M5, and we're gonna go for a little drive. So let's see how it goes. As we discussed earlier, this thing is pretty nice, really fast, but it's full of technology. and it's a little bit more than your usual BMW, but but it can be overwhelming because there are just so many menus and so many gadgets. Because if you want to adjust your seats, it's not just the buttons on the side here, but then you have a bunch of menus in here where you can custom tune the seats just the way you like it. Massage, cool, if you want the side bolsters to be pushed in or not, all these kind of things. So it can be a little overwhelming. But in fairness, I guess if you're the owner of one of these things and you get used to it, you'll know. But I'm looking at the menu right now. You have drive logic choices: Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, Chassis, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, Steering, Brake, M Drive, M Sound. You can adjust the transmission to the way you want it. You can adjust the gas pedal the way you want it. There's just so many menus. Now you have presets on here where you can custom tailor stuff, so it's just one button, you get to what you want. But still, there's choices are good, but it's just a little bit excessive when it comes to some of these things where there's just too much stuff that really distracts you from paying attention to what's ahead, which is what you should be doing. But that's a talk for some other time, I guess. But the way this thing drives is amazing because it's smooth, quiet when you want it to be smooth and quiet, and it becomes an animal when you get on it. And then the power gets unleashed. But for something that weighs this much, that weight translates into really feeling solid and tight. And when you take a corner, it feels great because it's just very planted. But when you feel the weight is, if you try to make a quick maneuver, say you're trying to make a quick left-right maneuver or something like that, then you really feel the weight, how much this thing weighs. So that can be expected because it's a big car. So M5's never been light cars before, even for the times that they're at, depending on what generation. It's really smooth, and we're in comfort mode right now. Let's put it in, we'll put it in sport-ish with some of the sport settings. There is no sport mode, because there's no one generic sport mode. It's how you define sport mode to be. But the differences are small, but there is definite difference. But it really takes a corner really well, and it is amazing how fast this thing actually goes. That was stability control kicking in, and when you get on it, if you put it in downshift mode, it's fast, but depending on what modes you're in and everything, it's not that fast. Because it has the gas motor has 577 horsepower, which is pretty good. It's not small. But to get the full 717, you also need to use the hybrid power. So you need to be able to have electricity too. So right now we got 3/4 of a charge of battery. So, but it is not slow by any means. It still does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. But it is quite quick. But the amazing thing about it is not just how fast it goes, but how effortless it does it. It just goes, and it's so smooth, and it never feels like you're working it hard, and it sounds wicked, but yet quiet. It's very M5. So that part's really nice because it can just go, and makes you feel like you're the king of the road. Then the right modes, you have to make sure you're in 4-wheel drive sport and all of these things. Again, there's so many modes because you can change the stability control to the way you like it. You can change the 4-wheel drive to the way you like it. You can make it 2-wheel drive if you want, but you can make all of these changes. And of course, the stability control, the traction control, the way the transmission shifts, launch, all of these things. And it can take a while to figure all this stuff out and do it. But once you do it, it does work pretty well. So, okay, so let's see how fast this thing goes. Wow. That's pretty wicked. But yeah, but you have to be in the right modes and everything. You can't just do it like that. And you have to have the proper amount of charge and everything else. So, yes, if you like this video, please make sure to like it below and subscribe also. It really helps us out. And until next time, bye.